You guys, it's absolutely freezing in Boulder today. It's April 21st. We're getting a second snowstorm of the week. My local ski resort is closed. We're still getting snow. I'm so ready for spring, even more ready for summer. I know it's been technically spring for a month, but it does not feel like it. So I find myself dreaming of summer hikes. I have a few on my list this year. But in case you guys don't already, I wanted to share some of my favorite hikes that I've done in Colorado so far. I recently did a video about 5 hikes that you should do in the Boulder area within an hour of Boulder, Colorado, but I wanted to expand it and give you 4 more hikes that are out farther from Boulder, a little farther of a drive. I mean, I say a little bit, one of these is across the state, so I'm talking Colorado as a whole for the most amazing hikes that I've done so far. Hi guys, if you don't know me, I'm Audrey, known as Glow Stick on Trail. In 2018, I quit my job in Washington, D.C. to thru hike the Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine, and now I live in beautiful Boulder, Colorado. These are long ones, so you could choose to do them as day hikes, which is what I did, or if you're not like a hike all day long kind of person, you could also break them up and make them backpacking trips. But a couple of them, if you're gonna do that, you do need permits. So just keep that in mind. But if you're like, oh, I love going all day, I don't mind, I can hike forever, then these are probably great day hikes for you. So these hikes are Cirque Meadows and Emmeline Lake, that's 1. Bear Tracks Lake, that's 2. Muir and Crater Lakes, that's 3. And Lake Basin, that's 4. Let me show you guys some pictures, maybe some video, and I'll talk you through each hike and what makes it so spectacular, but the photos are really gonna speak for themselves. But I'll tell you where they start, how long they are, all that good stuff. So let's get into it.
Cirque Meadows and Emmeline Lake are in the Comanche Peak Wilderness out past Fort Collins. The closest town to this trail is Glen Haven, Colorado. In total, to hit both of these, Cirque Meadows and Emmeline Lake, the trail is about 13 miles long, and it's fairly easy terrain, especially the first few miles. This trail begins at the Emmeline Lake trailhead near the Colorado State University Mountain Campus. Cirque Meadows is about 3 miles in from the trailhead, and you continue past this to go to Emmeline Lake, which is a few miles down the path. Cirque Meadows is absolutely gorgeous, and the path to get here from the trailhead is basically flat. There are a bunch of first-come, first-served campsites right here at Cirque Meadows, so you can stay here for the night if you'd like to make this a 2-day trip. I did this trail with a friend from out of town who wasn't used to the elevation, so we decided to do it over the course of 2 days. Just be aware that once you pass Cirque Meadows, the trail starts climbing. It doesn't stop until you get to Emmeline Lake. The trail passes through gorgeous forests, across creeks, and past several small ponds where my friend and I saw 2 moose before reaching Emmeline Lake, which is a very spectacularly pretty aquamarine lake surrounded by crumbling mountains. Our campsite was amazing. We had a view out to the meadows and of the mountains beyond. This would make for a fantastic day hike if you're up for the 13 miles, or if, like me, you have a friend from out of town who's maybe not used to the elevation, or you'd just like to have a more easy hike, then it's a great 2-day backpacking trip. Note that you do have to drive on dirt roads to get out to this trailhead, but I don't have a 4-wheel drive and my car was totally fine. I hiked to Bear Tracks Lake during my first summer in Colorado, and it remains one of my favorite hikes that I've done so far. Here, I also got one of my favorite Instagram photos ever, which is really saying something. This trail is a loop, which I always prefer over an out and back, and it's about 11 miles round trip. While it's long, it's a fairly gentle trail. It starts at the Camp Rock campground in the Mount Evans Wilderness. The closest town is Evergreen, Colorado. This trail can easily be hiked in 1 day, but if you'd rather make it into a backpacking trip, I did see campsites while I was out in the wilderness, and of course, the trail starts right at a campground, so you could always get there, camp out, start really early the next day if you're worried about making those 11 miles. This trail passes through lovely pine forest, a burn area, some cool rock formations, and then of course you get to the lake and the view is just incredible. There's also a chance to see moose in this area. The trail out to Muir and Crater Lakes in the Indian Peaks Wilderness is pure magic. This trail is always on Best of Colorado trail lists, and this is for good reason. This trail is about 16 miles round trip and starts near Tabernash, Colorado at the Monarch Lake trailhead in the Indian Peaks Wilderness. From here, you start following the Cascade Creek Trail, following the signs for Crater Lake. I did this trail all in one day. It's an out and back, but if you have the forethought to get a permit, you can always do this as a backpacking trip. There are some really spectacular campsites out at these lakes. It is a really long day because it's 16 miles, but that being said, the trail is really mild and it's really doable if you're in decent hiking shape to do this all in one day. On top of the mild grade of the trail, there's also plenty to distract you along the way, including enchanted forests, thundering waterfalls that are just off the trail, a sparkling creek that winds on for miles along the route, and then finally the spectacular Muir and Crater Lakes, which are framed by the towering Indian Peaks. Pro tip, bring a bathing suit and or a hammock so that you can take a dip or chill out when you get to the lakes. While the other hikes that I've mentioned in this video are fairly mild, I will warn you that Lake Basin is a tough hike, but it's awesome. This one starts near Silverton, Colorado, where my friend Seth is the part owner of a historic hotel called the Avon. So if you're in this area, I'd recommend checking out the Avon. This trail is about 9 miles round trip and starts at the Ice Lakes trailhead. There's a campground at the trailhead, so if you want to get an early start and stay overnight, that's an option. While this trail's only about 9 miles, you do start at an elevation of 9,845 feet, and you climb 3,100 feet while you're there, so it is pretty tough. You can make it to Lower Ice Lake Basin, which is so beautiful, and turn around, making it an out and back, or you can continue up about a half mile to Upper Lake Basin and make it a partial loop. I only made it to Lower Ice Lake Basin because the elevation was bothering me that day, but it was so pretty, and I've heard the Upper Ice Lake Basin is also really beautiful. So if you have the energy, I would recommend doing both. I did this hike during 4th of July weekend, and the wildflowers were popping and it was super lush. I saw tons of Rocky Mountain columbines, which is the official flower of Colorado, dotting the landscape. And these things are purple and super pretty and just really add to the atmosphere. So that would be a good time of year to go. Aside from having this beautiful turquoise blue lake at the end of the trail, this hike also has waterfalls, meadows, creeks, lots of green, wildflowers, peaks, lots of beautiful stuff to make the hard climb worth it.
So seriously, guys, you can't go wrong if you pick any one of these four hikes. They're seriously amazing. I just can't believe how lucky I am to get to live in Colorado and have access to these things on the weekends. This place is freaking amazing. I love this state. But if you're out to Colorado for a visit, or even if you live here and you haven't done these hikes before and you give them a try, let me know what you guys think. Or if you have another favorite hike that you've done in Colorado, I would love to hear about it. I'm always looking for new ones. I feel like I've been here for about 2.5 years and I still have so much of this state to explore. So I'm always looking for new ideas. So please share those with me if you guys have them. Don't forget to like this video. Please subscribe for more hiking, backpacking, Appalachian Trail content, all that great stuff. Thanks for listening, guys. I'll see you later.